The CS Interior has said the moment he lands, he will arrest him so that he can write a statement concerning some of the claims that he made while he was in the States, that President William Ruto met Al-Shabaab leaders for a business deal. We don't know how true that is. Now, to help us talk about this, I have Matthew Wasonga with me. Welcome, Matthew.
Thank you, Fred, for having me.
And I have Mureithi Moito.
Thanks, too, for having me.
Now, you guys are football fans. I'm not. But yesterday, I managed to watch the football. And I must admit, I was really impressed by the way the boys played. 10-man down. I believed Morocco was going to score. They were going to beat us. When the final whistle blew, I was literally impressed. What do you think is happening to this team, and how come they're performing now and they've never performed before as they are now?
Well, thank you. It's a very good question that you've actually posed, and thank God. Maybe you'd be tempted to say I prophetically said so, that Harambee Stars will thrive in the match and in the matches. One principle, and I told you, if I'm a coach, if I become a coach, there are principles that used to drive me when I used to be forced to be in the bench by my coach. I learned one thing, that when you get into the field, purpose yourself. It's teamwork, yes, but give it your all in your court. Everybody has a court to play to cover in the field. Give it your all. Secondly, make it a pleasure. That it's not a do or die thing. Bring out what you have, and that's what's going to give you the pleasure. Once you do that, then you will be able to, build onto your confidence. Harambee Stars have been playing well for the longest time. And like I've always said, the federation leaders are the ones who've been a problem for the longest time. Federation leadership. One, tribalism had been one of the reasons. Tribalism has been one of the things that has beleaguered sports in Kenya.
Tribalism?
Absolutely. There was a time selections would be done in the rugby, and somebody would say, wachana huyo mtu wa Ukambani, wachana na huyo wapi, wachana na Waria, cheza rugby, something like that. And yet that person is actually meeting the standards. But today, you will hear players from Hamza Makadara. There's a guy who plays for Hamza Makadara, and he's in the national team, doing very well. And he's not a Luo. They're guys who are from other communities. It's a mixture. Simply because McCarthy did his own selection. And even there's few politics that come around the selection moment, brought about by the KFF and the major clubs, AFC, Gor Mahia, Kenya Breweries, Sony Sugar, Kakamega, Posta, and whatever. Those are the kind of teams that used to produce players for our national team. So they would look beyond that, which means they never used to do scouting. People who had talent, their talents have been killed by that tribalism. I'll take you to my volleyball. When I used to play volleyball, because I played power volleyball, competitive volleyball, Div 1 and Division 2 and 1, and champions in all, then champions...
you became champion?
In the East Africa tournament called Bonite, several times. National League, national champions, twice. I quit volleyball because the platform that would take players to professionalism, whether it's regional or inter or continental or global, was actually blocked. Why? There was a chairman, I won't mention his name, he's a member of parliament in Western Kenya, who actually dared return players from Nyeri Posta at the airport. Tangulini, your slots have been filled up. Tangulini Wakikuyu wakacheza volleyball. That was the statement that returned. 9 o'clock, they were given fare to go back to Nyeri. And they're the ones who had been selected by the coach. The same coach took the tickets from one club, General Motors East Africa, gave it to Cooperative Bank. Not that General Motors had a problem, but because Cooperative Bank, majority of Bukusu. All these kind of things, because people are from your area. When you kill sport like that, And people have qualified, beaten every other team and become champions. That's what has beleaguered sporting growth for the longest time. Look at what's happening in rugby. It's anyone who plays well that gets the slot. What are these guys doing? The motivation of also financial motivation has played a big part. And this time round has been done where give credit where it's due. That this money you win, your money
goes into your account
straight on without passing through the hands of the officials, because the officials have been clamoring, you do well, you get the money, then eventually you hear somebody telling you that matches we were promised 5 million each, it totaled to 5 million, and we got 50,000, 100,000, you know. Those are the kind of things that we are saying.
Let me bring in
about the performance. Yes. Allow me. I told you it's about 90 minutes match. It's never beyond 90 minutes. So Harambee Stars have gone with the right mentality. It's 90 minutes. Secondly, a principle that makes you a better player is that the past history of your opponent or your past success, don't bring it to the new match, because the new match needs new energy.
Yes, and a new mindset.
I think I will disagree with my brother here. First, let me congratulate Harambee Stars team. They've really performed well as far as Chan is concerned. I watched their first game against DRC, the opening match. They performed well. Okay? Their second match against Angola. Remember, Harambee Stars have played 2 consecutive matches, 1 man down. And they managed to sustain and maintain the game for over 60 minutes. These young guys, these are our Gen Zs, playing in that match, they deserve credit. They deserve their flowers.
Absolutely.
Let us not politicize this. One problem with that Kenyans is that once you are a politician, in every aspect, in every other thing, the way you look at it, sometimes we forget our patriotic duty and we bring politics into everything. Harambee Stars has done well. What I think has changed is that I will not go the 1 million motivation by the president. Of course, that one might also be the problem, might also contributed, because I saw the players celebrating 1 million off the pitch on their changing room. But again, what I observed is that there is some kind of an agreement. There is some kind of friendship. I don't know how to put it, between the players, the technical bench. There's some kind of union amongst them. This has really proven a result. If you look at the kind of leadership we have, my friend here is talking of something that happens maybe when these young guys were not even born. Okay, so I don't think that we can bring, change is the only constant thing. If this thing happened in 1960, we are in 2025. How then does it affect us now? Okay, because when my friend here was playing football, volleyball, it must be somewhere between 1982 and 1988, around there.
1988.
Yes, look at it, 1988. Most of these young guys playing for Harambee Stars today were not born by that time frame. So I think there has been so much development. What has changed is the leadership of the Kenya Football Federation. The new leadership, the FKF president, and the
But by the way, the FKF president.
Yes, Hussein.
We were with him at Jamhuri High School.
Yes.
And he was a masterful, we used to call him Tostao.
This guy is good.
This is a man who loves football. Yeah. Look at the vice president, this Mariga, Sindio. This is the first Kenyan who played a Champions League and won with Inter Milan. So these are 2 individuals that understand what football is, what it's take to be on that pitch. So even when coach comes in, and today even the FKF got it right with the coach. Ben McCarthy is one of the best coaches you can talk of when we talk of the African football. This is a guy who have worked under Jose Mourinho. This is a guy who have coached Manchester United, the junior team. So this is he has been with the South African team, some of the best clubs in Africa and even across the world. So this is a guy who understands what football is, and is bringing some union and some unity within the team. He has brought out that team. The only problem that may be going to our match on Sunday against Zambia and maybe forwarding to the quarterfinals, he will work on the discipline of the players within the pitch so that we don't end up with 10 man every match. Because remember, This one, I think, it should be a very big concern to him as a coach. That 2 consecutive games, 2 reds, that should be a worrying to him. But as far as this game is concerned, let us give these guys.
So tribalism never played a
Tribalism
role.
is not there because if my brother here will talk about tribalism, if I look at that team, Fred, let us be factual.
We will talk about. We're not discussing this thing. Let me tell you.
When we talk
the whole thing. The point that was there.
When we talk about it, in Harambee Stars team,
Let him
I saw
learn.
someone like Mushiri.
Yes.
That guy played a very good team.
We are not talking about
Okay.
this match. We are talking about what has been happening and what
But
has
now,
killed the sporting.
you know
We are
what
now
I'm
coming back.
saying. What I'm saying, my brother, is that the only constant thing is change. If that is what was happening in 1988, we are in 2025,
Okay.
almost
It's good
40 years down the line. So do we want to still go back to 1988 where we were? In fact, we are even under new constitution. Okay, so what we must appreciate is that football has evolved. As a citizen, as leaders, is that let's find a way on how to support them so that even when they are going to do the scouting, it can't be across board and bring all players and nurture the talents of these young gentlemen. Remember, what my brother here will also acknowledge, that the CHAN, this championship, is just purely for local players. Okay, these local players are being selected from our local football clubs that play our local leagues. Okay, we saw players from Bandari, we saw players from Gor, from FC, from Kenya Police. You know, if you look at that squad, I wish I have it here. If you look at that squad, it's actually represent nearly all the teams playing in the FAF. Remember,
I beg you allow me.
when this my friend talk about that.
I beg
So
you allow me to
it
interject.
is upon
I
the
beg you allow me-
selecting
I
committee
interject because
to
I
understand and
he's
to
talking
bring the
that-
best
I know
players.
he's thinking- he's thinking
What I can say is that what we can see from this squad, the Harambee Stars squad playing the CHAN 2024, is one of the best squad. Because if this guy can play the way they've been played, then we don't have any option about the selection. If that is what is take to bring the Kenyan football and to bring the cheers and the joy we need as a country, so be it. Because it's only in football and sport whereby we don't go about politics or tribalism. It brings us together as a nation.
Because I want to switch
Thank you.
this to
I bet that
something.
he understands what the word tribalism means. It's not football or business or whatever.
Yes.
It features everywhere.
Yeah.
Allow me. It features everywhere. It's my turn. Tribalism features everywhere. It can feature
Exactly.
anywhere. Anywhere you're interacting. If there is any form of bias, the only way to heal is to start realizing, accepting, acknowledging, and be determined to do the change, which is what has happened. And I told him, and I'm not you alone, even the viewers, that this time round, some criticism came about. Oh, his selection is not really going to make any impact. That's before they actually qualified, but they were headed towards qualifying, and I think they had gone, I think, for some friendly somewhere, and that thing was actually quashed by the federation chairman. I told this, the federation chairman we have today is very sober. He's a guy who understands it. He has Mariga, who has been in the pitch, and I'm telling you, when you have a leader like Nyamweya, you had no history for him when he used to where he played volleyball. Wait, it's my turn. These are the kind of people who would go there for business. This thing would never succeed. Gone are days when tickets for players were being sold out to business people. You know, ulikuwa nataka kwenda America, shika hii enda hii ni ya player fulani hataenda, then unarudishiwa kiwanjani. What I'm trying to say is the team right now has picked has selected players indiscriminately, and that is why I was giving.
And
you
we
an
give them
example.
their flowers.
I'm giving you an example. It was guys from Hamza Makadara team goes to the national team. It used to be Gor Mahia, or you playing for FC Leopards, or you playing for. I'm mentioning those teams because that's where we used to get the players. So if we keep up with this spirit and you begin to support it, let's not believe that football was made in Kisumu or football was made in Kakamega. Football is what is here, and the abilities of your legs and your body. So what I'm saying is that if we can build on what we have right now, the past history will not affect the present matches. And that's why I told you, while we were experiencing those things those days, we changed gradually, you know. And like I told you, time has gone, it has elapsed for the Kenyan volleyball coach to continue saying that we are going for a set or a match to win a match. You're not going to win a match. You attended the World Cup, go win the World Cup. And winning a World Cup is one match at a time. And we have featured in the World Cup for over, I think, 7 times or 5 times.
Yes.
We need to change our mindset, both from the fans, because it had reached a point where somebody would feel, si wale wanaendaga kiwanja wataenda tu, wacha tuone kwa TV. Today, you saw there were guys from, some northeastern region.
Yes.
And northeastern region was not a footballing place. But when they came to Nairobi, the refurbishment of some pitches that you're seeing in primary schools.
Yes.
If you go to such places, because they're being charged money and good money, these guys are affording it. And they are beginning to enjoy football by themselves.
Yes.
Now they're realizing a talent they never had. You go to those stadiums and you will see that guys of Somali origin are playing football.
Yeah.
Good football. So when you saw them yesterday, because I watched that,
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of see whether they are
The face of
celebrating.
Kenya.
They're celebrating the Moroccans because they're Muslim or something like that, maybe a religious connotation. But I saw no. There was nothing like that. They were actually supporting Kenya, and I knew when I flashed back to what I usually see when I operate from a place like Donholm. I see what they do there. You know, these guys play good football and they play overnight. You know, so what I'm trying to say is there is that change that is sweeping. And it's not only in sports. Even in politics, it's sweeping. The mindset of staying bound into some kind of mentality.
But Fred, let's us agree on one thing. Let's all agree on one thing, that in this, without bringing any more politics in
Politics
this,
must be there.
in this, for as far as the squad we are seeing today, they've got it right.
Yes.
And all they need
Kenyans
from us...
have got it right.
No, the football management, it's not all Kenyans, because it is among the FKF fraternity and,
Yes.
and the technical bench who do the scouting and the selection.
Yes.
For this, let us, all we need from what the coach needs from us as
support.
the Threlux player is the support that we've seen. And one thing, let us also not forget that the Kenyans, you know, this has also proven one thing, Fred, that we as Kenyans, we love our country, and when it's come to the national duty, when we are called for national duty and to raise our flag, we always respond. When I look at that stadium for the last 3 matches,
Hey, it's been packed.
it has been packed full.
And that's a 60,000 capacity.
Yes, it is. There
Matters-
was no any
matters-
lesser time
matters-
whereby there
matters
were
is
less
that
than
some political,
there were no
some
lesser
political
time
game was
whereby
voting the
there was
ticketing,
less than
buying
40,000 players. Even if there is politics, the
party
problem I
is
have with my friend here is that we always see, as Kenyans, we always see politics in everything. If today, even the government or the Nairobi governor, Johnson Sakaja, can now decide that I'm going to purchase all the tickets so that you can just go to the stadium and watch the game free of charge, so be it. What those guys need is the support from Kenyans. So even if politicians purchase those tickets and people go and celebrate the team, I don't see any problem in that. Let me tell you one thing. There was a time that Kenyans were playing for Ethiopia. Okay? There was
Kenyans were playing for
Yes,
Ethiopia.
Harambee Stars were playing versus Ethiopia. It was
Okay.
AFCON qualification matches. What happens is that then the governor of Nairobi was Sonko. There were buses outside the city stadium, if you can remember. Sonko was paying them and they were telling them, you just go and watch the guns, go and support our boys. So if that
Sonko's
is
case
what
is different.
if that is what it can take to motivate Kenyans and to support the team, then I don't see any problem with it.
Okay.
Because by the end of the day, I think even the motivation that the Harambee Stars players have gotten is that when they play in front of those Kenyans chanting the Kenyan song, you know, the joy, the
1 million.
the 1 million, the stadium is packed. Even the 10 man, they feel so much motivated and they have the eager to play more. So I think if that be the
I
case,
need to give this a
Fred,
switch.
Fred, without my brother here trying to sneak politics into it,
Factually.
if that be the case,
Yes.
so be it.
Actually, social media, national televisions aired some clips of guys saying asanti sana kwa kutunulia tiketi. Itakuwa tutam. No, wait, my
No
brother.
problem.
Wait, brother, wait. When you say that you have bought for us tickets, it's gonna be 2 term. Then the announcement of the tickets come out and it's just rolling and wait for the result. When you want to purchase the ticket, it tells you one thing. This manipulation would not have been there. Just leave it open. Let the people
No,
purchase the tickets.
my friend. On this letter.
Let people purchase the tickets and go to the stadium. I think we exhausted it.
You know, my friend, let
I know
us
you
not
understand
play.
what I mean.
No, I understand.
It's not
But
politics.
let me
Have
tell
you
you
seen
one
that?
thing,
Did
friend.
you see those clips?
Let us not play politics into everything. Even if the president decided to buy all the tickets,
60,000, 40,000,
all the 60,000
yes.
tickets,
Yes.
and now tell Kenyans, as the president, I'm going to buy all the tickets. You just go out
Yeah,
and watch. So be
it's
it.
very
All
easy. It's very easy.
these players need
It's very
is the
easy to share
support
among the
from
broad base.
Kenyans.
The supporters to be in the field.
Exactly.
So you see,
In
it's not a
fact,
broad-based affair. It's not a broad-based
No,
affair.
when
It's a Kenyan affair. So when you purchase this, let me hear.
what stopped
No,
those who
wait,
are
allow
saying,
me,
what
allow me,
stopped
brother.
those other
Allow
side
me, allow
from
me.
buying the same ticket?
Yes.
Allow me. If it was so, and then you would share among the broad-based supporters, you give them the tickets, then it's a broad-based game. But keep it open, because Kenyans on this other side who are agitating for other rights, they are also Kenyans. If you listen to them and understand them, then you would know why they are saying this. So when you share,
Fred, let me tell you one thing.
Wait first. Even so, these tickets shared amongst the people like the Medus and their like who are on the other side. You know,
How many games have Medu attended?
Matiang'i is given some tickets by government.
You know, Fred,
Fred.
this guy wants us to bring politics, and those people who are complaining, you know, those people who are complaining about the ticket have not even attended any game. Those are the sofa set branch football fans that sit at the comfort of their home sipping their beers and complain. My friend,
just got the point home.
let me tell you one thing. Those were the people who are complaining about the ticketing. But the real football fans, those who want just to go and watch the game and enjoy the beautiful game of football, will never see any problem where the ticket comes from. If today you can save me that 200 and tell me, Matthew, go and watch the game. This is the ticket. I've saved you the 200. They will never complain.
Yes.
What they want to know,
irrespective
of where it's come from, what we want to know is that even if, and I will repeat it again, my brother, even if today President William Ruto or Rigathi Gachagua or Dr. Matiang'i or whoever decided that as a patriotic Kenyans, I'm going to buy the entire ticket, because what happens is that every time
that's somebody who's buying your ticket.
Every time,
there's somewhere you're lying.
no, that's my mom. Every time they will say that, like for the case of Kasarani, it's a 60,000 stadium. So the CAF will say, now we've printed, let's say 40,000 regular tickets, 1,000 VIP, and something like that. We have 50,000. If the government can say we are going to buy the entire 50,000 tickets, you just go and watch the game. I don't see any problem with it. What we need to do and to understand, my brother, is that let me tell you one thing. Sometimes, my brother, let me tell my brother one thing. Sometimes, as Kenyans and as politicians, let us not politicize everything. Okay? Not everybody. And I'll say you, as a football fan, if you can save me that 200 and you can just give me that ticket, I will not mind where it's coming from. What these guys need is the support from Kenyans fans. Go out there and watch and support them. It's irrespective.
I'm adding one word.
So you want to say someone that has never yet gone to the... So you want to buy someone... So let me ask you a question. So you want someone from...
I'm supporting you, brother. Why are you fighting me when I'm supporting you? I'm saying the only word you're missing is buying tickets or receiving tickets indiscriminately. That one, think about it.
All right, I need to switch this.
You're welcome.
For a while, I need to switch this. Wamunyoro has been told that the moment he lands into the country, goes to the slumber. Because he made some statements, and now he's been told you have to substantiate these statements and stop making wild statements.
Question to me?
Yes.
I would like to respond peacefully, quietly, because I know that is a very serious matter.
But you don't like to Kenya.
I will join this thing with even the stealing of votes that has already been declared in the northeastern Kenya. The lady did not just bubble up and say something. She's somebody who sits among the northeastern Kenya leadership caucus, and they discuss. She's somebody who has access to the broad-based center of power and negotiate these kind of things. What you're trying to say is, as per the Constitution, changes of power of the person in power is done by Kenyans by vote. Otherwise, the other things that are used is coup. And Kenyans are not ready for a coup. Kenyans are ready to vote out a president. That's what they are saying on this other side. This other side should be determined to defend their court by doing more work, not politicking, because they have the resources, they have the time, they have the power, they have everything to do what is right. Now, the declaration by the president, while in northeastern Kenya, that there will not be any vetting of people who will be obtaining ID cards, knowing too well the porosity of our borders, that we have Somali Kenyans and Somali Somalis, you know, Somalis of Somalia. We have these people who trade and live and cohabit together. They just people who live together. They know each other as brother and sister. The border does not bind them. Okay? And there you are, make a declaration that they can come and obtain ID cards. In any case, don't forget, the Kenyan constitution is a dual citizenship model. You know? So a Somali can have this ID card, come use it in Kenya as a Kenyan, as a Somali, can go to Somali, use his Somali ID, Kenyan Somali can use, and vice versa. You know? What I'm trying to say is, had he known that this is the case in our constitution, had the advisors had this close to their mind, that rendered Kenya into being so vulnerable.
But what Wamunyoro was talking about.
I'm still coming to it.
Yes, Wamunyoro was talking about the president sitting down with an Al-Shabaab leader to talk business.
I'm coming to that one. While he was making the declaration, remember 5 chiefs were missing. It never came from his mouth as a warning, as a president and a commander-in-chief of the Kenya Defense Force, that how watu warudi ama tuonyeshe cha mtema kuni. These are the kind of statements we expect when you're so near to them. Nothing about it. Okay? After a few weeks, they resurfaced. Not hyped, nothing. No stories about it. It makes it suspicious. Now,
who was the deputy president?
Allow me.
When the 5 chiefs were missing?
The deputy president was not in Northeastern.
No, I'm asking. Who was the second in command?
It was Kindiki Kithure, because Rigathi Gachagua was not in power.
When the chiefs were missing?
When the chiefs were missing, the impeachment process was on. Remember. So don't forget.
You are missing my point, Fred. I'm asking my brother here.
Yes.
When the 5 chiefs from Northeastern were missing,
had impeachment
who was
process
then
begun?
deputy
Had
president?
impeachment process begun?
No, just
No,
you don't answer a question.
Okay, I think I'll take questions from him, because I think he has it right. What I'm trying to say, I know where you're heading.
Yes.
What I'm trying to say is, the same Rigathi Gachagua, if I jump now the Somali issue, the porosity of our border in the Somali issue, which is neighboring Sudan on the other side. Easy from Puntland or Somaliland and then come to Somalia. It's easy to access Kenyan borders because it just depends on how they relate and they correlate those people from those countries.
Yes.
The entry of the RSF into this country had been mentioned by Rigathi Gachagua. That this is not right. We can't have this kind of a meeting in this country if we are claiming to be fighting terrorism and without being a country that does not interfere with the sovereignty of another country, unless we want to dirtify ourselves. Remember, there were consignments, that first shots that came with Al Jazeera and other local stations.
Yes.
Consignments of ammunition. You know, boxes of whatever of arsenal were found in the hands of the RSF, made in Kenya or coming from the Kenya military. If there was any investigation that was to be done, would have started then. But because it was not an issue, what other evidence are you looking for when you had that one to investigate?
But this,
you see, it was spoken and came out.
The statement that
the relationship
made, it's a very strong statement, because you're saying
let me tell you
that the president of a sovereign country like Kenya is having a meeting with the leader of a group that is actively killing Kenyan soldiers using IEDs in the northeastern Kenya.
I'll make it very simple for you. We have had attacks in Marsabit.
Yes.
We've had attacks in Wajir. We've had attacks in Garissa. You know,
including even last week.
And even last week we had attacks. But when you're talking about guarding the the nation, providing the needful security for the people, declarations and statements must be made by the head of the military. Because the police are under him, who help in the border management, plus the KDF. When it comes again to see that our name has been tainted and or dragged into, a consignment of our military artillery is found in another country, in the hands of the people who are fighting against a sitting government, then that tells you one thing: it's not right. Then you host the same thing, the same group forms a meeting, gets a red carpet entry into KICC and wherever. They do their meeting peacefully, enjoy themselves. No mediation from Kenyan mediators, as in a meeting that we had called them to mediate. Nothing like that. It's them holding their meeting at KICC amphitheater. Now, it happens like that. The government, led by the head of state, has the power to say no such meetings in my country.
Murithi is avoiding this point.
Let me bring in.
I'll now pose the question in the air. I'll now pose the question. I'm done.
Just a minute.
Let me now pose the question in the air.
Yes.
Let me pose the question in the air. What would cast any doubt of having any form of association with the facts that I have laid? One, you have already declared that no entry into Kenya that requires a visa. So our embassies out there have no business. Wait, these are declarations, my friend. You come to Kenya, not Kenyans going to other countries. Anybody coming to Kenya does not need a visa to come into Kenya. Registration of ID cards, free. Don't even say where you came from. Just give the details and you get the ID. Now, meetings by the RCF.
We are talking the meeting, the Al-Shabaab. I think that was the question.
What would cast the doubt that there has not been any relationship with even the Al-Shabaab itself?
There was just a direct accusation. And for the record, and I've said here in this show quite a number of times, Fred, that personally, as Matthew, I don't subscribe to either the ideology of the so-called united opposition led by Rigathi Gachagua, neither do I subscribe to this so-called broad-based government. Because if I look at these two groups, they are just the same thing, belonging to the same system that are not out for good of this country. What I want to say is that when talking on the what Murithi says of the vetting,
yes.
When President William Ruto decided to do away with the vetting, it posed a lot of security threat to the nation. And everybody, as all the security experts, criticize it because that one poses a lot of security threat, taking into account we are bordering Somalia, and we know what is happening in Somalia and what has been happening even here in Kenya, the Al-Shabaab and everything. But again, Rigathi Gachagua saying that the president had a meeting with the Al-Shabaab, it is only better that when Rigathi Gachagua land back in this country, he should be asked questions and tell Kenyans and shed more light where the fact is. Because, number one, something that Murithi will not say. I want to tell you one thing, my friend. We have a country called Kenya. We don't have any other country. Someone like you might have a dual citizenship. Maybe ikiumana hapa Kenya, unaweza epa uende kwingine. But there are the other people. Of course, now you said it, that you don't have any other way to run. So even as Kenyans, that's why I say, Fred, that sometimes as a leader, we must always know where and when to do politics and when to put the interest of the country first. It should not always be politics and to support everything that come out from politicians, even if whatever they are saying is at a threat to the peaceful we are enjoying as a nation and is posed as a serious threat to burn down our country. When Rigathi Gachagua says that a head of state meet with an Al-Shabaab, a terror group, that poses a very serious security threat to the nation and even to the international community and even to the investors in this country. We had many times whereby the American citizens, the UK citizens, have always advised when they realize that there are some terror threats in the country, they have always advised their citizens living in this country, don't visit these places. This is a country that has experienced terror attacks. Talk of the Garissa University College.
Westgate.
The Westgate, the D2. Dusit, D2. This is a country that has experienced the terror attack, and we've seen how these things went down. So when a leader who poses himself as a national leader who even aspire in one day, in his wildest dream, what I can call most of the daydreaming, sleeping at right midday, and snoring, dreaming to be the head of state of this country, can authoritatively say that a head of state have a meeting with the terror group to discuss business. What kind of business do a head of state have with a terror group? It is only proper if this person could be held responsible and answerable and shed more light on this issue. Because as a nation, as a patriotic Kenyans, and I said, my brother Murithi, that I don't belong to this group. I belong to a group of patriotic Kenyans who will always want the best for this country, irrespective of where they are. Because as I said, Fred, and I've made it record here, that even in your name, I don't play tribal. I don't even believe in this thing called tribalism. Because before I was named Matthew, I was first a Kenyan. Fred, before you were named Mwangi, you were first a Kenyan. Same to my brother here. So at times, my friend, we have to put our politics aside and wear that coat of patriotism first and protect the interests of our country. So I support the Kenya Kwanza government and the Minister of Interior, including even the CDF. Immediately that guy landed down in this country, the first place he should be, the first place before even being received should be the DIC headquarters, so that he can even tell Kenyans, and even if possible, after the DIC, let him even address press and talk to Kenyans and give us the detail where the meeting was, even if he have more details on the meeting, so that even we Kenyans, we can say our head of state, we've given the key responsibility to protect us, is a criminal. Because when someone have a business deal with a terror group, you automatically become a criminal. You don't negotiate with terrorists. Fred, across the world, there is no any leader who can sit down and say, now let us negotiate with terrorists. They will tell us when to bomb us and when not to do, how many people they want to kill. So, sometimes,
I know, he's taking us round circles.
No, I'm not taking us round circles.
It is very uninformed when you talk about.
This is just straight allegation from a leader saying this, and he made it on a public, right in front of the cameras. Fred, this is not just mere allegation.
We've got your point. He should be arrested. He should be arrested. Let me not bring it.
He should not. Whether he should not be arrested, he should be questioned and shed more light on this.
Let me bring him up to speed. When the Dusit is about to happen, Kenya security is warned. Is it a Dusit or Westgate? Kenya is warned. When even political riots are perceived, Kenya is warned by the US.
Yes.
We have a relationship with them of military intelligence. You should understand that.
I know.
That means they're not watching through a camera or the satellite camera to tell that there'll be chaos in Kisumu. They have their men on the ground. The FBIs and the CIAs, they're here because we are in a relationship. And so when the Kenyan government does not act, please don't try to batter this and make it look better simply because you are a supporter of a divide of a political party, no matter how much you claim. Let me tell you.
Now you want to force me to somewhere where I'm not, or you want just to force an ideology that I don't even subscribe to. I'm not supporting any type of things.
Don't divert my guidance to you.
Yes.
I'm guiding you on this one. I want you to understand the international relation, which is even being discussed at the Senate, the Congress, in the US, as the Senate. When they are discussing this thing right now, they are discussing the relations between Kenya and Somalia. Remember, Kenya and the US. Because the US is funding Kenya, has been funding Kenya, so that they can be a center point where they can place the hub of intelligence to manage terrorism in the eastern region of Africa. And they have been receiving funds. The ones who give you the funds to do so are the ones who want the accountability of their money.
But don't you think? Don't my brother think? Fred,
gentlemen, hold on.
Just a minute.
Just hold on. 30 seconds, and we're out. Your closing comments.
I will close with this same thing that I was saying. Then I first congratulate the Harambee Stars and tell them it's one match at a time. And the past history of your opponent does not matter. The past success or failures of your team do not matter. It's 90 minutes for what you have right now. Secondly, declaring that the arrest of Rigathi Gachagua because of the Al-Shabaab, having presented all facts, that are leading to 2027 elections. It's unfortunate that votes will be stolen, registration is faulty and unconstitutional. The hosting of RSF is not happening today while Rigathi Gachagua is in the US. It happened then. So investigations of Kenya misbehaving was supposed to have been investigated then. So if it's falling, the buck stops at the president, then it means the president should do something about it to correct. So what you're trying to say is, let them leave Rigathi Gachagua be, because whatever he said happened, and now whatever he's saying, we know that there could be a truth. So don't shift the back, the one which was
what should happen?
The one which
is
that
is sitting my 30 seconds.
Yes.
I will still maintain my stand that
yes.
immediately Rigathi Gachagua land, it will shed more light and tell Kenyans. It will not be about President William Ruto and the 2022 general election. If you want to vie, whether you want to vie or the vote, if there is a threat to steal election, let him use whatever he wants. But we cannot play with some a serious matter as the national security of this country when an impeached deputy president can allege that our head of state have a meeting with a Samtera group. This poses a serious threat to the unity and the peace of our country. And as a good citizen, and he claimed to be a patriotic, even if he should not even await for himself to be arrested. He should even present himself to the authority and explain more light and tell Kenyans that, wake up Kenyans, this is what is happening, this is what will kill you. Okay? It doesn't matter whether it is for broad-based, it should be for the interest of the people of Kenya. I belong to the group of that patriotic Kenyans that want to see the prosperity of this nation. And for the ambassadors, good job, guys. Milioni moja.
Those who have ears, those who have ears.
All right.
Hear,
okay, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We bring the curtains down on the show. This would have continued until tomorrow morning. So we thank God for the conversation. You be the judge of what you think is happening in this country. You've had the discussion, then the debate, the facts that are being put on the floor. You be the judge. So with that, we bring the curtains down on the show. Don't forget that today we'll have Gatuzi, and then later on at 2 p.m. we'll have Scoreboard. Scoreboard will discuss some of the things that will happen in football, and then what will be happening next week on Sunday. Do have yourself a lovely morning.